The church has the Order of Christian Funerals, which is basically the ritual that we go through when someone passes. And there are three components to the Order of Christian Funerals. You have a vigil, which is usually held the night before, the day before a funeral mass. And it's really the appropriate time that we kind of gather. We usually have the deceased present. It can be held in a home, it can be held in a funeral home, it can be held at a church. And the importance of the vigil is really that first gathering as a family and as a community to acknowledge the passing of the deceased. It's an appropriate time, where we say prayers and we have a liturgy, but it's also a time that we will have people get up and speak and talk as friends and as a community about the loss that they're sharing, right? So you often hear the word eulogy, but it's also an appropriate time for music and for gathering. Sometimes people have refreshments. And so it's a real important beginning of this journey that we're taking together as a community, right? We're going to start with the vigil, and then we're going to go the next day to church, right? We're going to have a funeral mass. And the funeral mass is really that acknowledgement of the passing of our loved one who was born into the church in baptism and is now coming back to church in an acknowledgement of their faith and their experience in the community. And so that funeral mass is really a solemn moment where we gather as a community in prayer and we share the Eucharist and liturgy together. So that's a really important kind of second step in this journey to our final resting place, which is going to be at a cemetery. And that's called a committal. And the committal is a ritual that we have that really brings us to the finality of the fact that we've now passed to eternal life. And as a community, we're kind of confronted with that loss. So if you take these three components and you think about how they all come together, they're really a journey for our faith community to pray, to gather, and to move on, knowing that we now have to kind of regather and live our lives going forward with the loss of someone that we love. And so that's a really important thing that we can gather as a community to share together.